Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. As you can see, I'm hopping along with Team Tiny again today. It's been a minute since I've hopped with Team Tiny and I'm so happy to be back. The theme for today's hop is ATCs, and you can see I've got these sweet little girlies going on, and I'll give you more information on the hop in just a minute, but I want to get started on my process. So I start out by going through my gel plate pulls and trying to make a decision on which one I wanted to use. So I narrowed it down to this handful, then I narrowed it down to these two, and then I narrowed it down to this one. And now my stencils, which one am I going to use? Picking and choosing, making my decisions, and then I go on to decide on my stamps and background stamps for dimension and texture and all that goodness. But one thing that I wanted to say when you're choosing your backgrounds, especially if you have pulls, if you have a pull or a handful of pulls, think about how you're going to use it. Like if you're absolutely in love with that pull and you want it to be a feature, then you don't want to use it in a project like this where it's literally going to become the background and you see very little of it because everything else takes front stage. But if you want it to be featured, if you love it and you don't want to cover it up at all, that's great. You just want to reconsider how you use that one. Maybe you want to feature it in an AT or a book, or maybe you just want it to be the full front of a card and all you add is a sentiment. Just think about things like that. So you saw my process, choosing the stamps, choosing the stencils, choosing the background stamps that I'm going to use. And I've used this quatrefoil stamp or stencil with just some texture paste from Ranger, and I randomly put it through the stencil. And then I had that heat embossing up close so you could see the extra texture that heating that texture paste creates, and I love that. So here I have the vintage script background stamp from Whimsy, and I'm just randomly putting down some stamps, and you can see that I don't have either of these stamps mounted, and I just used a little bit of the, what is it called? The Distress Embossing Glaze. This was in Fired Brick. I think that's absolutely beautiful, and it just pulls out some of those deep rich reds from the background of that pull. And I did not show the heat embossing on that only because the print is so small it was really hard to pick up on the camera, but I think it adds some beautiful texture and interest to the background. So on this pull you saw I trimmed off all the edges and now I've cut it down. Now ATCs are 3.5 by 2.5. There's also ATC coins, which I've not done those yet, but I think that might be next on my list of ATCs to try. So I just trimmed them down, and I think they're so much fun. Lots of interest and pattern and stuff going on in the background. And then I stamped out my little girls from All & Create. I will have all the products listed and linked downstairs as long as I can find them. I will create a link for you. They will be affiliate links, most of them, but not all. And all affiliate links means that if you decide to shop and you use my link, I may very well earn a small commission from your purchase. No extra cost to you. It's just a program that we use. And so, yes, so if I can find the links, I will definitely put them down there. And I just wanted to talk to you in terms of my coloring process. I don't show a lot of it, but always I go, and this is me, but I go from light to dark and then back out to dark. And then if I need to go back over it and add some more layers, then I'll do that. A lot of people will go from dark to light, or I go from light to dark. Other people can go from dark to light, and that works best for them. You just really have to play and find out what works best for you. And down the road I may switch, but right now that's just kind of where I'm at. So I did this sweet little bumblebee girl. I did her dress, her face, her hair, and now this one. I feel like this one and the one on bottom left, I think they're twins. But I love her little purple hair, and this one on screen, it looks like she's just super Caucasian, right? Like just a real pale skin. But in person, she's a little more peachy, orangey yellow. And I just was trying to make everybody a little bit different, because we all are, right? So let's embrace that. Let's just kind of focus on our similarities, but embrace our differences. And yeah, I was just trying to celebrate that with all these little girls. I had a good time coloring these and kind of creating stories with the little scenes that I'm doing, the relationships that they have together. And in the end, I've used my new clippings book from Tim Holtz, and I just create names for them and fun little sayings for each one of them, and it's just really super sweet and fun. So I colored all these sweet little girlies up with my Arteza Everblend Ultras, as I do, and fussy cutting all of them out. This is just a little bit of my fussy cutting process. This little one, her name becomes Mrs. H at the end. It just fit for her. She's Mrs. H. She's a little eccentric. She's a little fun. I like her a lot. So I actually stamped out and heat embossed 4 of the houses, but as I was kind of auditioning things once they were cut out, that was just too much. The homes were going to take up too much of the background. So I just cut them in half and butting up that cut half up against the edge of the card, and that creates an impression of a scene, if you will. Or I guess it creates a scene. It creates the impression that there's more beyond the edge of, or beyond the boundaries of the card. Does that make sense? So yeah, by cutting it off, it lets the viewer know that there's more. There's more. And once I have them all butted up together, once they're all finished, you'll be able to see kind of completed scenes. But as always, auditioning my pieces, my players, figuring out where I want them, what's going to work best, how to highlight both the figures as well as the houses and the background without covering up too much of the backgrounds. So I have all these little fences as well that I colored off screen, and I fussy cut them out. And actually it was the little fence that helped me in my decision-making process to go with this collection of stamps, because I just felt like the fence would be like the marrying part, or the part that tied it all together, tied the little people to the houses. So I also stamped, colored, and fussy cut a bunch of flowers. And in the beginning I thought I might not use the flowers, but I'm glad that I went ahead and colored and cut them out because they really add a lot to the scene. So having so much fun just building my little scenes, making sure that all of my edges are, you know, uptight and flush. And sometimes I use a little bit of liquid glue. Sometimes I use some of the, what is it even called? The double-sided tape. Why are words hard, y'all? Anyway, while you watch me finish my process, because they're all about the same, put the house down, put the fence down, put the person down, and then I go back with flowers and all of that. Let me tell you about Team Tiny and about this hop. So like I said, it's been a minute since I've hopped with Team Tiny. So what we are is a group of crafty YouTubers. Most of us have paper crafting channels, specifically card making, but not everybody. Some of us do things a little bit differently or do card making and other crafts. But we all have less than 1,000 subscribers, thus the Tiny. So a lot of us are working towards monetization. Some of us are just wanting to be part of a group. Some of us are just wanting to learn more about, you know, making videos and having a YouTube channel. Everybody has like a different reason for being part of the team. But we get together once a month for a different hop. We've had different people graduate over the years and different people lead us, and everybody has been amazing. And I so love being a part of Team Tiny, and I'm very happy that I could hop with them today. So like I said, the theme is ATCs for this month, and I had to participate because y'all know I love me some ATCs. Sometimes we have giveaways. Someone like a company or whatever might sponsor the entire hop. This time we do not, but I do know that there is at least one person, maybe more, doing individual giveaways on their channel. So I encourage you to hop along. You use the hashtag. It's hashtag Team Tiny May 2022 hop. So it'll be in my description box as well as my title. And excuse me, clicking on that hashtag or typing it in will generate a playlist for all the people who are participating today. I think there are 11 or 12 of us, so it's not too much, and all of our videos should be under 10 minutes. So I invite you to hop along, find out what everybody else has done, go see their ATCs and all their wonderful creativity, see what giveaways might be going on out there, and just have a good time. Make sure you leave some love for me as well as for the other crafters. And if you like the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed to our channels, we'd love it if you would do that as well. But most of all, we just thank you for being you, for participating and being a part of this hop today. And again, anything that you might be interested in will be listed and linked downstairs, and I will meet you in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching today and for hopping with Team Tiny, and until next time, mwah, I'm Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and I'm out.